signal, they start working when 70% of the peak value is achieved. So it means that this circuit is going to receive the frequencies which will be near its 70% peak current, or the frequencies for which the circuit is going to give RMS value of the current. The circuit will start accepting those frequencies. So as you can see that if I consider it this value at 100%, then somewhere below this value in the curve it will be 70%, and on both sides it will achieve the same slope. So this 70% value at somewhere where it is going to be its RMS value, F1 frequency can be located, and similarly on the other side or beyond the resonance frequency, F2 frequency can be located. So it means that F2 and F1 are the frequencies which can also be accepted in addition to the resonance frequency, because as per characteristic of an AC circuit, this circuit will start working when the current will be 70% of its peak value. So we are to locate that peak value, and how shall we locate? From the graph. So what is our initial purpose? Our initial purpose in this experiment will that we will be designing an RLC circuit with some suitable values of L, R and C. We will have this configuration. We will connect this configuration. Then we will connect a function generator in place of the input, and then we will start giving different frequencies. And at different frequencies, we will start noting in this table. We will measure for each particular frequency. We will measure the current from the ammeter which is connected in this circuit. So in this way, we will develop a table. What we will observe that initially current will increase, it will become maximum, and then current will decrease, and then it will be minimum. So it is important to note all the values. We should have equal interval before resonance frequency is achieved, and the same interval should be repeated, or same number of frequencies should be recorded after the resonance frequency is achieved, so that we have a well-shaped bell curve, which is the characteristic response curve of this RLC circuit. So firstly we will fill up this table, and then we will plot this curve. And when we are going to plot this curve, out of that curve we will extract the information that is required in this experiment. For example, resonance frequency. For this we will locate the peak, and we will draw an intercept which is or a bisector which is going to bisect it at x-axis, and this particular value at x-axis we will read it, and we will definitely interpret it in the form of its resonance frequency. If it is log of f, we will take anti-log to measure this resonance frequency. And in order to measure this bandwidth, what we are going to do, we are going to measure its RMS value. So for this, we will measure this peak value from the graph here on the y-axis. We will read this value from the graph, and we will multiply it with 0.7. As you can see that IRMS is basically I peak over under root 2, and this under root 2 converts to 0.7 actually, right? And that value will definitely be somewhere at this y-axis, and we will locate that value on the graph, and against that value we will record F1. This is a half power frequency. It is also known as a half power frequency. In theory, if you calculate quantitative analysis, if you do quantitative analysis of this circuit, so you will understand that at this particular frequency, circuit has its half of the total power it can deliver. So it means the power is 50% at F1. So it means that this is also known as half power frequency. Similarly, you will locate it on the other side of the resonance frequency, and on this half of the curve, and it will be F2. So what you are going to do basically by recording this F2 and F1, you are going to measure the bandwidth. So if you are going to measure the bandwidth, bandwidth can be called as delta F, and it would be the difference of these two frequencies. Now why this, what is known as bandwidth? Bandwidth is the difference between half power frequencies. Half power frequencies are those frequencies at which circuit current is 70% of the total, and these are the frequencies which are accepted or which are likely to be accepted by this circuit. It is going to pass on these frequencies on the other side of this circuit. So it means that this whole is known as a bandwidth. All these frequencies have a chance that they can be accepted by this circuit, right? But then another quantity that we are going to measure is quality factor. And what is quality factor? Quality factor is the ratio. It is denoted by Q, and it is the ratio of the half FR with delta F. And what does it tell? It basically tells that FR is it basically tell that how sharply the circuit is capable of measuring its resonance frequency. A circuit would be an efficient circuit if it only accepts the resonance frequency rather than the bandwidth. So for a good circuit, its quality factor should be high. It means that this ratio should be high. It means that this response curve should be a sharp peak like this. So if it would be a sharp peak, then this bandwidth will be narrow and this ratio will be high. So this is the reason that we calculate the quality factor. It can have any value depending upon the values of R, L and C. So in this way, all these parameters are going to be evaluated in this experiment today.